Hey, good evening, everybody. It's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, saging here live from Virginia Beach, Virginia, for a live talk forum at 7:15 on Wednesday nights. Here on Facebook and live in our studio space at the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. We're just sitting here saging and getting ready for the show here. We have a few people in our live audience. It's me and Jennifer right now. Rachel will be up shortly, and I'm sure you guys will be tuning in if we have the right Facebook stuff on. Facebook changed all their stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to see all you guys here soon, shortly, and everybody will be coming up. So tonight, it's a Wednesday night show. We have a whole list of different things to talk about. We have last week's questions. We have this week's questions, and hopefully we'll get the show on the road. We're just going to wait a few minutes. I got my hibiscus peach tea, and it's super hot here in Virginia Beach. If you can donate, please do. Help us out to keep our live shows going here on Facebook, and you can come here in person. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
All right, I'm going to wait a few minutes and see who shows up here. And hopefully I got this thing on right, because I really can't see anybody here today. We on, Jen?
Lynn, I haven't even gotten that far. We are on as far as I know.
All right, terrific. All right, well, it is the middle of summertime, and we have lots to talk about tonight. We're going to get to our questions from last week, okay? We have a few questions from last week where we did Capricorn Super Moon, Super Buck Moon. We did a little bit of a reading on that with people. Oh, I see people coming on. Hey, Laura. Hey. I don't know what's going on with our Facebook. It's like backwards, sideways, and jacked up here. But thanks for coming to the show, okay? And it's Wednesday night, 7:15. We usually go to about 8:45 every single Wednesday, and it's a live talk forum. It's a metaphysical show to call in, ask your questions, as well as we teach and share our experiences for wisdom for all of us in these times. And anything you want to know, please do ask, both in earth world and metaphysical, with all that is love, that is God, because what we do is we teach love, okay? And that's what our show is about. If you can donate, please do. You can donate on our links that Rachel, our associate Rachel, usually shares here. She shares our donation links, which are PayPal and Venmo. Thank you all for coming. I see all you guys coming up on here. I see Sophia and Laura, and thank you guys for coming. And tonight, I bought my little list of things so that I can, just in case I need to get back to where I am, because we've been kind of detoxing. We've talked about health stuff. We have a health show that'll probably be coming back in the fall, the Medical Intuitive, 6 and 12, as well as the Right Thing show, where we talk about doing the right thing here in Earth World, the right thing highest, and all these things really are from the highest form of love in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And this is what we do and teach. So to tonight's show, got my little list here. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We will first probably answer last week's questions with people who sent in a chart and would like a chart reading with the leftover energy of the Capricorn Super Buck Moon. We talked about that last week, and we did readings on that, and we talked about the metaphysical effects that it's been having on all of us. Okay, hi Madeline.
Hi, honey.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. And thank you all you guys over here for coming on the internet. Thanks. All right. So we talked about the Capricorn full moon, and right after the show, man, in the last week or so, we see a lot of weird, crazy stuff happening to people, just wild stuff, all indicative or having to do with the energy of this Capricorn full super moon, causing all kinds of chaos and crazy things happening out there. That said, the energy of today is the other thing I want to talk about. Today's energy, there's like a whole influx, a wave of energy that has us like just off. When I say off, in other words, like irritable, contradictory, don't feel like doing anything, super fucking tired. So there's waves of this energy the last few days, and especially today. This is how we've been feeling, some of us in my personal family, as well as people that I know. We're all going through different waves of energy during these times to cull the energy out of us on the planet in alignment with the transits and the stars, or all that is in astrology in the transit, okay? So some of the effects that this will be happening is we're tired, we're not getting enough rest, we're irritable, and today especially this is happening. We're feeling like we're not getting what we need. We're bored, we're challenged to do things, to get things done. The world is like mundane. We're irritated with this energy. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Good to see you. All right, thanks. All right, so this is what this energy wave is also coming in. So if you guys are feeling like this, I was guided by universe to share this with you. This is all what we're all going through. Like today, I was trying to write an email to like Williamsburg, the people in the city of Williamsburg, Virginia, to work out some kind of business arrangement with them, right? And I swear to God, I was working on this email all day long and like revamping it and changing it, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Normally I'm like, okay, God, boom, 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 and I just bang it out. But today it was like, I was like super challenged. I was like writing paragraphs that were jacked up, and so it was kind of crazy, and I felt like I was fighting it the whole time. So today has been an energy, I don't know if you guys realize it, for that it was been fighting it. Have you guys noticed that today? Yeah, it's been crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Non-conducive to getting shit done. So I ask God to be free of this. Thank you, God, for that for us, and put the best way to be. And hopefully between tonight and tomorrow I'll finish that email, but I must remember everything in God's time, right? So God's time it is. So I wanted to share those two things about life with you right now, about the energy that's going on these times. As well as, our traditional opening, which we did, and the Capricorn full supermoon that we talked about last week, and crazy chaotic things are going on. And Jennifer, do we have questions from last week? Because I'd like to get those. Do we want to do some chart readings for a couple of people?
Yeah, we have two chart readings from last week. One is from Crystal Ferrier, and the other is from Dee.
Okay, terrific. Is Dee with us tonight?
Dee is.
I think I see you there, yeah. Dee. It's hard for me to see because I'm like far away from the TV thing, and unless I get like this in it, it's like I can't really read it. So that's why I have Jen and Ray and my team, So, anyways.
Here's
so
Dee's chart, and you can see I wrote D in the corner.
Okay, Dee, you sent us your chart. We're going to do a couple of chart readings. I think we have 2 left over from last week. And Dee, we have yours here. I'm going to see if I can't kind of post it or get you to see it. Sometimes the phone will do this adjusting. I know Rachel's iPhone does. Can you guys see it? I don't know if you can. I don't
know, but with that screen I got on there.
Yeah, I don't know. Jen's screen is jacked up. So, Dee has sent me which chart is this? Do you know what this is, Jen?
That is her transit.
Okay. All right. Dia sent me her transit chart, so she wanted to do a reading on how the Capricorn full super buck moon is affecting her and where it's affecting her. Okay. So right now, we have the moon. Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking. So I'm just going to look at where she's got what going on. This is hers?
Yeah.
Okay, she wrote her name on the top right. Okay.
I did.
All right. Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice work.
So I wouldn't get confused and I could find it easier.
Sorry, you guys can't see it on here. It's just crazy. Okay, Dee, where you have moon stuff going on, all right? In other words, any aspects in all of our charts for this Capricorn super buck moon, anything having to do with the moon and waters and emotional energy, the moon is the mother, the moon is the subconscious of your soul. So anywhere that you have moon aspects in your chart, as well as in D's here, it's going to affect you most powerfully. And let's say if you're like me, you have a Capricorn moon or a lot of Capricorn placements, it's going to affect you as well as Cancer. Cancer and Capricorn go together. Okay, Cancer is the subconscious of your soul, and the opposite sign is Capricorn. That's the Capricorn full moon. So these two go together. So these are going to be very powerful in how playing a part in or a role in how they affect you, as well as the houses that these aspects are in, and planets and anything else that is going on in your chart that is relevant to this. All right. So, but everything is always included all the time, because it isn't just the moon that's in the stars or all that it is in astrology and in the sky as well, right? Of the planets. It is everything that is part of your soul and everything that is part in astrology, okay? And that has to do with everything that is you, right? You're not just one aspect, like people say, oh, my sun sign is this, and really you're so much more than that. You're all this shit, tons of stuff, and then layers of it, right? And it's not shit, it's awesome stuff. Okay, that said, Dee, I see that you have, let's see, strangely enough, what's her birthday?
I only have it on the phone. I think it was October 28th.
I think it's 26. I think she's the same as Hillary Clinton.
No, because I do see her sun sign here.
Hey,
all right.
One second, I'll look it up.
Jennifer's just going to quick look this up here. Because there's like energy in here going on, and I'm like, I feel like it's like discombobulated, so I don't know if this is necessarily the right chart. I don't know. Nicole Opper is sending a message. Are we still having a workshop? Can you tell her that it's Wednesday and we have the live today? Please. That's so funny. All right.
I'm having technical difficulty. It's thinking.
All right, Jesus, take the wheel. God's honest truth, the best reading for D now, please.
Goes with the day.
With the moon energy, yeah. It's a crazy... Well, and that's just it. I feel like I'm fighting it, okay? So in this particular chart that I have here, D, you have your traditional natal moon in Gemini, okay? And it is in your 5th house. Your opposite house of that is your 10th house, okay? Your 5th house is your world stage, your creativity, all right? And this being in Gemini, this will, with the Capricorn full buck supermoon, it's about your new destiny and putting you in that place. So you're going to be revamping, getting a lot of creative ideas. I feel like so many of them are going to be from your subconscious, right? Because you have your moon in your natal chart in your 5th house, right? And that is your Leo house, your creativity, your house of children, right? If you thought about your paintings, your art, your writing as your babies, which I know that you do, right? Most artists are like, oh, this is my creation, you know, and totally understand that. So I feel you will be getting a lot more subconscious stuff from this moon energy, this full moon. Think of the full moon as being flushed and full, right? So that you'll be full of ideas, creative energy, which is emotion. All right, so all this stuff is going to be coming in for you, and that's Gemini. Having Gemini in your 5th house, Gemini is your most creative intellectual air sign. It just constantly gets flooded with things. The challenge with Gemini is to follow through. So remember this, you know, D, when you do your work, if you're challenged to follow through, to clear that out, because this is going to be one of those things that your subconscious moon, right, your subconscious soul is going to be asking you to release or calling in for you to release, so that you can, capitalize on all the channelings or all the ideas that are being channeled or coming from source through love energy to you, which is through your moon, your subconscious soul. People think that their ideas are like in their headspace, but everything is God and everything is love, and all of us are super connected. No matter how we perceive, we get information. It always comes from source up here, and whatever space or level or energy of God that we are in at the time, okay? So that said, you have a super ability here, which is really neat, because your moon is at the number 22, and this has a really powerful stuff to make 22 degrees. Then in numerology, 22 is like partnerships, all right? Number 2 is partnerships, and it's the number 4, which is completion. So it's end of cycles. I feel like there's a really great propensity here, and again, with the Capricorn supermoon moving into your destiny, for you to move into the new cycles and really get some awesome work done and completed on your book and in your art, or whatever you're feeling creatively to do. And you may drop everything for now and move into something else, because that's what Gemini does. It will find new things, but this moon will influence you. It will be flooded, because it is a full moon. It will be flooded with ideas of creativity for your new destiny. And if I'm talking too fast, guys, holler. You too, D. All right. And so this is really good. It's in your house of Leo, which is your heart. Your 5th house is your heart. What creates love? Your heart creates love, creates beautiful art, amazing writing, amazing babies, whatever it is that you want to create, okay? So that is in Gemini, okay? That said, and this is personal to you, D, that said, if we move into your 10th house, you have the South Node, okay? And your South Node... Let's see, your South Node is in Scorpio, and then you have your North Node over here, which is in Taurus at the same time. So again, all you guys will have similar patterns here. Your North Node and your South Node will be in Taurus or Scorpio. Super old souls, humanitarian souls who have come to change the world. This is a placement that is super known for this. North and South Node, Scorpio and Taurus. And it is not an easy life. It is a life of transformation. It is a life about learning and bringing metaphysical things from the past, that's your South Node, into the present, which is, your Taurus North Node and what you've come to do, or vice versa, depending where your North and South Node is. Your South Node is the past, the gifts you bring in with you from lifetimes. Your North Node is your destiny for this lifetime, of what it behooves your soul, the direction your soul, gets, it behooves you to develop and go on, right, for your greatest learning and greatest growth and greatest destiny, as well as your greatest life that you chose as your journey when you came in here. Okay, so that said, you have it tells me, Dee, that your life hasn't been, it's been challenging, okay? So the nodes, why are we talking about the nodes? Because the nodes always go with the moon, all right? The North Node and the South Node always go, they're associated with the moon. So they too are going to be influenced. That's your past life, past lives, your destiny. So there's going to be massive amounts of healing in here as well for you. And for all of us. So any of you have similar placements or similar things going on in your astrology and the transit, looking at your chart, many of us are, what you are is what you attract, and we're all going to have these things happening with us. New creative ideas, new destiny with this Capricorn new supermoon, as well as healing. Creativity, exploding, moving into different directions, starting our new destinies, okay? And D, yours is very lucrative in terms of creation, super, super flooded with those new ideas for your book and the power to go through them, like make them happen. Okay, let's see. And if you have any challenges in terms of Gemini with clearing them out, we talked about that. Ask the universe to clear them out. Ask God to follow through. All right. And for the best outcome from love, always. All right. That said, all right, those are those North and South nodes that we just talked about are your transit ones. So they will be clearing out, and those also will influence your traditional ones that are in your natal chart. But then you have a subconscious chart. You have your transit chart, right? You also have your traditional natal chart. You have your progress moon. Nicole Opper is texting me on Jennifer's phone. If one of you guys could take it. Okay. All right. Thanks. Crazy, right? Okay. So it just throws my energy off. Thanks God for clearing that for me now, please. Okay. So the North and South Node, a lot of you guys, it's in the transit here. So everybody's going through that, or most people are, many of us in this area especially will be going through that, the transit of the North and South Node in Taurus and Scorpio. All right. It depends on what's going on with you in your chart, but many of us will have that in the transit. Okay. But D, you also have your North and South Node in the second house, with this Taurus, and the 8th house, which is it 8th house? Actually, yeah, your traditional 8th house is Taurus and Scorpio, but you have yours in Aquarius. Actually, it's Pisces and Virgo. Okay. But because they are in the 8th and the second house, all right, the North and South Node in the transits will also affect you in these energies as well, having to do with finances, things, abundance, the home, all right, in terms of having beautiful things. Cancer is usually the 4th house. It is your home. But what's wild is you have your actual sign of Taurus in the 4th house, which again is the home, right? Your security. And Taurus is about security and self-love. So all of these areas, there's going to be massive transformation for you, right? All of us too, because this is the grand plan of the stars in the design of everything that is God in our own special and unique way. These placements will be unique to us as well as separate as in the collective, but will hit each one of us in our own unique way in our astrology or in our souls, which then is the catalyst for the changes that happen here, which we already signed on through our journey from the beginning of time when we came in here in this lifetime, okay, in physical form into earth world dimension. And that's with your natal chart and your transit. So if I get too crazy with trying to explain this, holler. Please ask questions questions. That's what I'm here for, so we can answer the questions so that everybody can understand them in the best way from love, God's honest truth. Thank you, God, for that for us. So, Dee, you're going to have a lot of things affecting you. Like you just told me, you got the deed done with your house, with your mom and all that. That would have to do with the 4th house in Taurus, security. So this moon is helping you move forward with your dreams and your security in this way, right? But the 2nd house is also Taurus. It's your heart. Your heart is where your home is, no matter where you are or whether you have a home, whether you live on a tent. Your home is with the people that you love. That's where your security is, and loving yourself in the healthiest, best way, right? All right. So that said, that's your 2nd house, your security, having beautiful things. Your 8th house is transformation. This is where your south and north nodes are. Okay, and in your natal chart, so you also have that Scorpio and Taurus energy in there, and then it affects you in the 4th house, it affects you in the 2nd house, it affects you in the 8th house, massive transformation, as well as in your heart, which is the 5th house, which is Leo, which is your creativity. So you can see here how over and over in your astrology, guys, that it goes over and over and over, and it affects you, and it shows you over and over what the truth is about what's going on. It will very rarely say it once in your chart, and in all your astrology and all the layers, because there's so many layers that you can look at, right, and learn about and understand of yourself, your soul, your journey, your gifts, the things that it behooves you to work on, your trials and tribulations, and how can I take that energy and create out here with it that's in my astrology or in my soul. You know, just like Mercury retrograde. You know, if you knew that when you had a retrograde, you made money in that retrograde, you work with that retrograde energy, and the next time it comes around, you ask that you make money then. And then it's more likely to happen because Mercury retrograde, the energy of it naturally repeats itself. How fucking cool is that? So working with the stars is a massive gift if you're aware of it, and you don't have to be a massive astrology king or knowing how to do it to work with God or love to understand it. You just need your basic formulas, and yeah, you do have to have a background of it for sure, but the more you work with us, the more you work with God, the more you work with love, ask to understand it, ask to love it, ask to do classes, ask to find the answers, ask to know, the more it happens, the quicker it happens, the easier it happens, right? Anything I want to know, I just ask love, and then the answers will show up, whether it's here or through various levels of your soul, the layers of your soul. But you can easily do anything I can do just by working with God or love. And if you can't find the time or you don't know how to do it, ask God that you do. I have many people who go, oh, I can't understand astrology, and yeah, it seems really complex, but it's no worse or no more difficult than algebra or learning to read or running a business. You know, it's like you have to ask God to do it. Ask God that you love to do it. Ask God that you make the time for it. And that's anything in our lives. So D, going back to D, new destiny. It's been your destiny and your dreams, but now it's really manifesting. You can see that by you got the house. Your creativity is really going to be booming coming into the future for your books. And your art, new creative ideas are going to come in. You're really going to put them out. Your 5th and your 10th house. Your 10th house is what you love to do, and it's Capricorn. Okay, it is Capricorn. So actually your 5th and your 4th house go together, your 10th and your 4th rather, all right? But your 10th house is Capricorn, so that's going to be profoundly affected. But your 4th house goes with your 10th house, and that's your security. Your 4th house is your house of home. Your 10th house is the Capricorn house, right? And your 5th and 11th, world stage, okay? The 11th house is Aquarius, which is also, right? Let me see, you have that in your 1st house. And what's crazy is your Aquarius house is like mine. It's interceptive. It's how do I get my stuff out to the world? So this is the beginning of that journey for you. You have an intercepted Aquarius sign in your 1st house and an intercepted Leo in your 8th. Welcome. Is it your 8th? In your 7th. And mine is in my 2nd and 8th. The same fucking placements. You see, you can see how amazingly similar we all are. We're really, really the same, but we're really super different. Okay, that said, I hope you liked your reading, D. A lot of great things are coming. You can capitalize on this energy and see what's really happening, too. All right, I'm going to give Jen her phone back. Who else has another astrology reading? We just got 2 here to start with for tonight.
We were actually going to go to Nikki's question from last week, and then we'll come back to the
Sure,
charts.
absolutely. So Jen is moving us along in a little different direction. So go ahead, Rachel, with Nikki's question. Is Nikki okay?
Yes, Nikki's on tonight too. She had a question actually last
Hey,
week
Nick.
for her friend Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda has been struggling to have a baby with her husband, and she's not sure if the problem is with herself or with her husband, and she's wondering what they can do.
Okay, there's a bunch of things that play into effect here with making babies, right? So for your friends, there's like some simple questions that do need to be asked of them, and the very first thing that comes in these times, is how long have they been doing this? Is this before the COVID-19 stuff happened, or the inoculations happened, and did they get inoculated? Because this is going to play a big role in how they move forward with having a baby, and if they really want to go through the work to have a baby, because people who got inoculated is going to be far more challenging, to create a child that's going to be healthy and across the board in Earth world with our health for everybody, okay? This is not just some kind of bullshit that I'm saying. This is actually in the stars, right? If you want to, I can give you placements that will back up and validate everything that I'm saying here, not just with God and universe, but so that you can look them up in astrology, literally, because the truth is always in the stars. So, therefore, we are all being challenged with the second house in Taurus, what we value, valuing our health, our self-worth truly is in our health, okay, right? If we do not value our health, we don't have anything. We can't have children. We can't have a great life. We can't get things done when we're sick, whether it's mentally, physically, or in our earth world somewhere. Yes?
She said the woman's name is actually Amanda. Sorry, I mispronounced it. I said Amanda.
What is it?
Amanda, so an N instead of an M. And she said that she has one inoculation and the husband has 2.
All right, so yeah, and that's why I started to talk about it. I was feeling like that. All right, so their challenges are this. They have to, well, they don't have to do anything. It would behoove them if they want to move forward in a direction where they have the greatest propensity, 78 to 93% to have a baby, because right now it's like 2 to 3, and it's not going to happen. And the longer they wait and don't get on their health in a new and different way than what they have done in the past, because we live in a whole new world now, guys, whole new world. So you have to think about your physical health and vitamins, supplements, minerals, okay, and a whole program. Now, I can help them with this. Somebody else can help them with this, but also detoxing. All right. And as we talked about in my latest health thing, what we're talking about here is stealth pathogens. Okay. We're talking about man-made inoculations, man-made sicknesses, right? Not unlike one of the things that we got going on and the sicknesses that are out there that are tick-related. All right, tick-related diseases or sicknesses or bacterias. They're also, bacteria related to fleas, ticks, foxes, okay, all kinds of different infections. And then what happens is you get one infection and your immune system gets lowered, and then you get another and another and another. And the reason we're talking about this is because we talked about this in our health class this week, right? Because this is massive. This is about massive pathogens that are hard as fuck to fight, and they're the secrets between all of our unwellness. This is really your autoimmune disease or disorders that they tell you about in Earth world that you're fucked with and that you can't do anything about, and that's not the truth. And it's not the truth anymore, right? This is about, so what these guys, it behooves them to do. They don't have to do anything. Just like anything I tell you on my show, you don't have to do it. You don't have to believe it. Ask God, ask love, follow your heart and go with it. But my job is to guide you from highest knowing of love. That's what we do here. What you do with it is grab this and follow your heart with God and love and make your wisest, best choice for you. Ask God that you do, right? And do the research, do your homework so you can find out all about this stuff that I'm talking about here, right? Because my journey with the mold sickness and all the toxic layers that I got going on that they told me was autoimmune disease, right? While meanwhile, all my pets have it. My whole entire family has it. But I'm the one that the doctors are saying I have autoimmune disease, right? This is bullshit. It's not the truth. But that's what they do. That's what they say. And then they call you a hypochondriac. Or we're sorry that you can't have a baby. Or you do in vitro. Or they try. And you're going to spend thousands of millions of dollars in their world trying to do it in this way. But that's not the truth of God. And that's why they can't get you well. And this is the God's honest truth. Okay, so we are talking about building up for this couple that you were asking about, Linky. We're talking about building up their immune system, talking about the symptoms that they have, because those are their weakest points in their souls, in the metaphysical, which will then manifest in the physical. So there's metaphysical work here to do for them. However, right away, they need to get on some vitamins, minerals, and herbs that would be the best plan for them to help build up their nutrition, right, throughout their body, so that will give their body the biggest fighting strength to heal as they go through the detoxing process, all right? Because what's happening is The sicknesses that my family and we have had mirror, right, are mirroring if we had got inoculated. Okay? Crazy shit, right? Because I said to God, I said, why do we get sick, God? This is like fucking stupid, right? Of course, nobody wants to be sick, so I was a little pissed off about it. So clearly Ellen changed that, right? So I got some work to do on me, right? I said, why? I said, why do we get sick? And then I learned, of course, something that universe, God, angels reminded me of. They said, Lynn, the Lyme's disease was actually manufactured in a lab and released somehow in Lyme, Connecticut. I don't know if any of you know that. But it's interesting because there's all these co-infections, and these are stealth pathogens, just like the COVID-19 inoculation, right? They're trying not just to kill people, but they're trying to make them sick and have no children and depopulate the earth, right? These are scary shit. But the reason I got sick is because I asked God to be a profound healer of the highest order, and they said to me, you're going back to life school, and the last 3 years was about this. Except I thought I was going to regular school, and they're like, no, this is life school. Life school. There's no greater teacher than School of Life. How we learn our best. It's why I can't tell my kids nothing, and I bet you guys can't either. My kids got to get out there and live it, right? To cry, to feel, to heal, to release, to understand, right? That's what Aries brings us. That's what Saturn brings us. Understanding here of Earth world. Really amazing stuff by doing, right? Just like the guy who does all the drugs, right? Or drinks all the time. And we've talked about this, right? What happens? The more he drinks, the more his friends say, hey man, you got a problem. He doesn't show up for work, but his boss says, oh, just make sure you come in tomorrow, and he keeps getting a free pass, right? Until Saturn with his soul decides there's no more free passes for him and literally brings his shit to his table in Earthworld, and before you know it, he gets arrested. $10,000 worth of fine, couple nights in jail, possibly longer than that. Hopefully he won't drive over somebody and kill them before he gets the message, right? Yeah, right? But so universe, Earthworld, brings it to you like nothing else is schooling, right? Just like you can't learn to walk from reading a book. You ever see any babies reading a book and learning to walk?
Yeah.
Right? So, Nikki, your friend must get on some form of health program, whether it's with a holistic healer, but it has to be somebody which is in alignment with these high-end beliefs of love energy or God. What does that mean? Truth of God. God's on his truth. That means the fact that there really is a world takeover here, that the inoculations are not what you think they are, and it's about changing your belief systems, right? It doesn't mean that you can't utilize some of the tools that you have here in Earthworld, but the bottom line is, when I went to the doctors, there's nothing they can do to help me, because they won't acknowledge, not even my kid having seizures, right? Because they don't acknowledge co-infections and mold sicknesses, and a lot of times when they come up in your blood tests, what happens is they don't really come up. All right, you have to go through specialized testing for all this crap, and more often than not, 73 to 89% they don't come up in your fucking tests, including thyroid issues, endocrine issues, and nobody talks about this because they're all bought and paid off, and they're all darkness, and this is the escalation of this shit in Earthworld, right? Because if you get sick, then they make tons more money off of you, they can control you, you don't have any freedom, you can barely move, you certainly can barely take care of yourself, and then the government can take your stuff and say, we'll take care of you, baby, we're so sorry you're sick. Meanwhile, those fuckers made you sick, right? Just based by your belief systems. So this is a big chunk of why we do this show, because this shit has to stop, right? So for your friends, yes, they can have babies. I feel like they can and will have 2 to 3, but not unless they change what they're doing now. So this requires some massive Earth world belief changes, energy work in your soul, working with universe, but also building up, right, through vitamins, minerals, herbs, as well as detoxing. What am I talking about? All the things that I talked about in the pathogens class and the stealth stuff from the other day in terms of health, right? Because these invaders in our bodies, they hide in our bodies, and the antibiotics will kick their asses for a few weeks, and then the sickness comes back and hides somewhere else in Lyme's disease or babesiosis or babesia or leptospirosis and all these other fucked up shit that nobody really knows about unless they do the research with God or get really, really sick and nobody else can help them like I did, right? That's why Earthworld School is so fucking great. So fucking great, because it leads us through to all the answers by asking and working with love, energy, and God through our experiences. So they have to go to places of changing their beliefs and opening up doorways to be well, such as biofilms, right? Such as fibrin, such as enzymes, okay, antimicrobials, and a whole program and systems to delete these things. And periodically, this is the new world, people. This is like living with, God forbid I even say this, AIDS. This is like living with a deficit in our reality where you're going to have to constantly check your health and reevaluate and detox periodically with all the things and within all the things that I'm saying here. And you'll have to use different things at different times and really be super in tune like we are with God to our bodies and ourselves. Thank you, God, for that for us from love. And this is where your friends have to go, or your friend and her partner have to go if they truly want to have a baby. Because as it stands now, it feels like they're going to keep getting in that space and losing the child and losing the child. And I don't know if that's what's happening, but I feel like if this hasn't happened 2 or 3 times, it will, right? And sometimes Earthworld does these things to us with our souls. Nobody does this to us. Our souls cause this in if we don't get the message that we're sick or we need help or we need to change the ways that are making us sick physically, mentally, spiritually, and all that we are. And we need to change those things so that we can truly be well, to have our dreams and have what we're asking God for happen, or it cannot happen. Okay, I hope everybody understands that. And I know it's a little bit complex because I haven't gone into it in super depth. We did a couple of classes on it. So I know you know what I'm talking about, Nikki, because I know you took one of my recent health classes about all of this. But this is what's going on, people, for all of you guys. If you want to have babies, all these millennials that can't have babies, who got inoculated and multiple inoculations, you got to get these stealth pathogens and this garbage out of you or you won't be well. And the life expectancy goes from the more inoculations, goes from, the least amount of inoculations, it's 10 years, then it's 6 years, then it's 3 years as a general rule. But if you can remove these things, because where there is God, there is a way. When I asked God to be a master healer, this is how I found these ways. But it didn't mean that I knew that I was going to have to be really sick to get these answers. And that's what happened, because nothing fucking puts a fire under your ass to get well like miserable ass suffering. Physically, mentally, in whatever way. That's the nature of Earthworld. When you don't get enlightenment comes to you through suffering. When you don't get what you need to learn or need the answers, and this is how your soul calls it in. This is really the magic of Earthworld for us to get it. When we don't get it, things like people we love pass away to put us in our hearts. Right? Our pets pass away to put us in our hearts. Our friends, or we lose our homes. We lose our families. We live outside on the streets. We get arrested for doing drugs. I mean, all these toxic things happen to us in Earthworld. Why? Because we're not hearing and we're not in our hearts for us and we're not listening and working with God or love and universe and creating a different reality for us, right? And working with that love energy. And the main thing is not that you have to do what I do, just be in your fucking heart. So, but this is where your friends need to go, Nikki, and I wish them and send them all the love in the world, because these are tough times and these are really nasty little fucker issues that are really coming out because of the darkness, all right? Because light is the winner here, and it will always be the winner. Love, it's love, and love trumps everything. And so this is really all part of the darkness, but where there's God, there's a way. That's the nature of nature itself, right? Nature finds a way, yeah. Things that you think are dead, or extinct like species, all of a sudden they find somewhere, and then they find that they've reproduced, right? Just cool as shit like that. That's how amazing God is. So this is for all you guys, right? It's up to you if you want to be well. You don't have to lay down and die. It's up to you. Do you want to stay on the planet? Do you want to be well? It's their journey, although it will require a financial investment, right? But it's one that's going to pay off infinitely. So it's about what you value. You value natural medicine, and in our case, we got tons of systems designed by God and universe that I'm working with right now, that I'm working with on healing me and my family, because it really sucks to see your 17-year-old have fucking seizures all the time, over and over. Right? And the rest of your family be sick as well. My sister coughed up a lung for like 8 months every day of horrific shit, right? Because she too was sick with this fucking mold toxin sickness thing, right? And we don't even realize it. We have pets, right? We don't even realize we get bit by a tick, or we got the inoculations, or we got inoculated when we were younger, and it's layers of toxins. And until we get these out of our systems, then what's going to happen is at some point there's going to be a deficit, and it's going to act up and act out in our physical symptoms, and we can't not ignore it. And this is how it works. So this is where they have to go into the research of these things. If they want to do it themselves, they could work with me and get a program. Same thing with all you guys. You can also ask God and do it yourselves, right? But you will know if it doesn't happen or is not happening for you, that you have blocks internally or out here in this reality, and you aren't doing or aren't getting to the spaces that you need to get in, whether it's subconsciously, consciously, whether you're aware of it or not. That's how you know if you're on the right path, is by what happens in Earth World. What physically happens here in Earth World tells you the truth of what you need to go, where you need to go, what is really happening. So, Nikki, I hope that answers your question. Rachel, does she have anything else to go with that?
Not that I've seen, no. And then she said thank you.
Huh?
She said thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And may she have as many babies as they so desire, and may they be healthy as could be from love. Thank you, God, for that, for them and us, if we so desire it. Thank you. Okay.
A lot of people saying how cute your hair is.
Yeah. I like my hair.
Ah!
Thanks, guys.
And Rachel told me about Do Not Disturb, so my phone is on Do Not Disturb now. So
Jennifer learned about Do Not Disturb, so Nikki's text won't come up here anymore. Right?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? And the hair, too hot. It's too hot hair. Yeah, it's like hot as fuck here, and this is wild, and whew. Anyways, thanks for all the nice compliments. Thank you, guys. All right, so we have, who's this?
Crystal Farrier.
Okay.
And this is the last one from last week.
Okay, this is the last moon reading for the Buck Moon reading, Capricorn Buck Moon reading, which is the last full moon of Cancer season, which is in July. It actually turns into Leo season. What day is today?
Today's 20th.
Yeah, 20th. So 23rd, I believe, is the actual cusp or the calendar year season for Leo. It begins, okay? So that said, what you laughing at, girl?
Nikki sent me a message and wrote test. And I was like, what the... At first I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Oh.
That's really funny.
Nikki. Oh my God. So Nikki sent Jennifer a test message. Hey, Nikki. All right. Let's see. So Crystal, let's see where this moon energy affects you. If you saw the first reading for D, you will know all of those things plus more. All right. So let me see what's happening personal to you. Okay. You, girl, have your natal moon in Scorpio at 22 degrees 2. Number 4, number of completion. This is crazy. All the parallels that go on here with all of us, because what we are is what we attract. So number 4 is the number of completion, and that's in Scorpio, and that's in the 8th house. Scorpio moons and Capricorn moons are your most challenging motherfucking moons on the planet. In other words, they're about, massive transformation, getting to the bottom of the truth, burying your shit, not wanting to deal with your shit, not seeing it because it's so painful. So it being in the 8th house and your 8th house being in Scorpio, that is also connected to your 2nd house, your 2nd and 8th, okay? So massive transformation in your soul in these times. So you're going to be releasing a lot of stuff. What really comes in here hard for you is dreams. So just to let you know, that is coming in with you. But this is a number of completion. So the number 22 is the number 4, which is about completion. Scorpio is about, in this house, the 8th house, okay? It's about death, dying, transformation, taxes, lawsuits. I believe it's about surgeries as well. So take a look into all these things, because these will show you where this Capricorn moon will have an effect on you. All right, in these areas, it's about transformation, death, dying, and transformation, rather. Okay, transformation being usually metaphysical. Okay, sometimes it does play a part in your physical death, of course, okay, but usually it's Capricorn that is the deciding factor of the crossover of individuals, right? But there are many other things that have to happen, okay, in your chart, right, to really see these things, to really see them manifest in Earth World. All right, that said, but there's a lot of deep, heavy soul work, stuff that your soul is releasing, whether you're doing it consciously or not, Crystal, it is happening to you. It's in the stars. This moon is going to facilitate really this healing so that you can move forward into your new destiny, and this is all part of that. But across from this is your 2nd house, which is also in Taurus, which is your Taurus energy, okay? So what does this mean? Taurus is the bull, okay? It is headstrong. It is stable, right? It's powerful. But your second house is the things that you value, your self-worth, your heart. So there's a lot of work here that's going to be done on how you feel about your worth, your value, yourself, both subconsciously and consciously in releases. So you may get bad thoughts about yourself or toxic thoughts or images that you don't understand from the past, from the present. And you're like, what the hell? What does this mean? Ask universe to release it. Ask universe to be free of it. And this is for all of us. If you guys are getting these things coming up metaphysically in your reality, if these things, visions, thoughts, feelings are coming in, ask love to release them. It doesn't mean that you're bad and you go, what the fuck is wrong with me? You could be picking up on other people's stuff, but this will trigger a release for you. This is what's going on. So it's releasing. Ask love to release it and put the best way to be from love. So it doesn't have to be tormenting if you know what's going on and you work with the energy, right? Okay, so your second house is about your self-worth. It's about things and beautiful things. There's a lot of transformation going on in the stars in your second house and your as well. And your South Node transit too is in Scorpio and Taurus. So you're going through, massive change. Everybody in the collective is going through this massive change. Those nodes connect to your moon. Your moon, of course, is your Scorpio moon in this case. And it's also the moon that is in transit, which is in the Capricorn, right? It's in Capricorn, right? So it's going to, Capricorn energy is also going to affect you. Capricorn is also about your self-worth. Okay, the things you value, Earth, world, universal law, responsibility, integrity, honor, respect, knowing what the right thing to do is, coming from love, and the ass kicker, which, so many people don't realize here in Earth world, is self-worth, and that's being in your heart, okay? And Capricorn is the governor that will bring you to your self-worth through Earth world experiences, and it's a bear. It doesn't let people escape their shit. There are no free rides, right? Just like you have to do the work if you want to be anything magical, special, nothing is really handed to you. And even though people may think that things may be handed to people in lifetimes, it's about experiences, past life karma, so many multiple different things. So when you think that somebody gets something for free, ever, like, oh, they were born into this family like the Kardashians, they're so rich and they have all this stuff. Oh, really? And are they really happy? Do you see? And what is their destiny? And what is the truth about what's really going on there? Is it really the way that you think it is? They're so rich. They're so famous. They have so much wonderful things. Why can't I have that? What is that? Do you value that? And this is for all of us. This isn't just for you, Crystal. This is what universe is guiding me to share with you and everybody here. Because the way we see things is very rarely, or especially things with others, is very rarely the God's honest truth about what is really going on. And it's multiple layers of truths. Like when you see your neighbors that you think have a really great relationship, same thing. That's your idea of what you think should be in your ideal situation, where you just see them in that moment. You think, oh, I wish I could be married. I wish I could live with her. I wish we would be happy. I wish we had children. When really you could have all those things, but you want it in the healthiest, best way. Not in the way that your idealism thinks that it is in the earth world with your neighbors, because that isn't the truth. And if you think that it is, ask God, is that the truth? Ask God for the God's honest truth for you. Right? So this is all re-evaluating that we're all doing about what the truth is, the God's honest truth. Okay, so these things are coming up for you and will come up for you, Crystal. And all of us, all right, because we're all going through these transits. You have a lot going on in your second house. You have Uranus, you have Mars, so there's a lot of action going on here in Taurus and Earth world. The things you value. This has to do with the jobs, your job, how you make money, the things that you value. You'll be going through a lot of things with this, changes, challenges, explosions. I do feel because it's connected to Scorpio, it has to do with inheritances too. So you may come into inheritance or some money through this avenue, right? Some abundance there because it is connected to the North Node and your future destiny, okay? Your new life, and there's a lot of transformation in this area with Mars and Earth world. So I do feel there's a propensity for you to somehow receive some money through some form of like inheritance. It really feels like an award, through things that you value, all right, as well as through doing the work, because Taurus too also makes you do the work. But the Capricorn Moon right now it doesn't let people get away with not doing the work. What did she say?
Crystal said, "OMG, are you reading my mind?"
Good for you. May all these blessings come through in the healthiest, best way from love for you and for all of us. Thank you, God, for that for us. That's cute. Okay. This said, Let's see. So you'll have those things. I want to just see what else you got going on. The Capricorn moon that you have is in traditional, which is that super buck moon, is going to affect you a lot also in the 10th and the 11th house, where your Capricorn moon energy is. Let me just see here. And because it's close to the cusp, but you also have, again, Pluto conjunct that moon, that transit moon. So again, it's massive transformation for you in your life to start you on your new destiny, your new career, doing what you love. Capricorn is not your job. It is your career. It is your dreams. It's doing what you love. It's your happiness. So this moon, while Capricorn is a very challenging and everyone thinks it's devilish and it's toxic, it's really about your dreams if you're in a healthy space of love or God and making them happen. You know, just like you with your new career. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's about moving on, including the moving in with your partner. So your dreams are happening, and this moon has everything to do with them. You see? This moon energy, right, is basically helps you activate these things in your soul. It's the catalyst. Do you see? All right. So let me try to get Jennifer's phone to work here. All right. Back to Jennifer's phone. So also you have your Pluto in the 7th house, which is conjunct your moon. This has to do with relationships. People think, and this is in the 7th house, is Libra, right? It's in Libra. Libra is your 7th house. That's everything to do with relationships. Again, people think relationships, Libra is about love. It is about love. But what people fail to see a lot of times in Earth world and their belief systems is that it's about self-love. First and foremost, no love for me, no love from anybody else. Hard. It's hard to get love from somebody else in the healthiest, best way if we don't love ourselves. And we're all going through it. I don't care who you are. Fuck, I haven't had a partner in like 20 years. Why? Not because necessarily I didn't really want one, just because I happen to know that I'm not going to go through the same bullshit and toxic crap that I did over and over for like the 30,000th time, because my soul is a hard learner. You know, just like most of us here in Earth World, that's why we're in Earth World. Earth World is the school of hard learning through physically living it and crying your eyes out, right? More often than not, you know, that's what it takes for most Earth World people as we go on this path in this dimension. Doesn't mean it has to be this way. The more you have God or love, the more you have the power to change everything and work with this energy to make it the best you can be. Not that you don't have any challenges, but your challenges will be the least difficult than they would be if you didn't have God or love. Amazing stuff, right? All right. That said, so there will be transformation in your self-relationship, but there is a possibility, of course, because it's not just about one relationship. There is a possibility for new relationships to evolve, both in business and friendships, as well as possible lovers, okay? So people might be like you might be like, well, I'm with somebody, or I have somebody, or I was thinking about somebody, but get ready, because as you transform, everything else transforms, and you will choose who you want to be with, or what you want to do, or how you want to do it, or whatever your heart guides you to, right? You make those choices. So these are just the avenues, the propensities, the energy that this Capricorn moon is bringing in great transformation in these areas for you. What's interesting too is it's your vertex is in the 7th house as well. The vertex is a person, place, or thing that changes everything in your life, the whole direction of your life. Like some people will get married and that will change their life, and that would be a vertex moment, right? Having a baby would be a vertex moment. Getting in a nasty accident and being in the hospital, that could change your life, right? God forbid, right? Nobody wants anything bad to happen to anybody in our idea of in Earth world. But these things are person, places, things, anything in that arena, the vertex in your astrology, and in this case in your natal chart, it is in your 7th house. So this too will be affected by this energy, okay, in your 7th house, in your house of relationships. So the propensity for that to be a relationship with yourself, and it could come in multiple different ways, not just relationships with yourself, but relationships with other, for your career with Capricorn, okay? So depending on what triggers that, it usually needs a planet, a trigger point within that time. So there's a propensity, though, meaning within that time, meaning it could happen at any time, depending on what's going on in the transit, in the stars, for you at any given time. However, with the Capricorn full moon, let's say the moon was hitting it, or Saturn was hitting it, or Uranus is hitting that vertex, or Libra is hitting that vertex, or multiple planets are hitting the vertex, then that could very well be the catalyst that's part of it. But because, right? It has to do with transformations of self-love, right? And with Capricorn, all right, and your 1st and 7th house, which is Aries and Libra, it's about the self. So huge transformation in who you are and discovering who you are is what I see coming in with this for you and your new career destiny for this new world with this Capricorn super moon subconscious energy and all the energy that is all this, because it's your subconscious soul and discovering who you truly are and healing these things that will help you to discover you truly and your new life world path of loving you, as well as bringing in a new partner. So there's some really great stuff coming in for you. Massive transformation and career. And Capricorn in the 10th house has loads of really great stuff. It's a great sign. Capricorn is, although you do have Sagittarius actually that is on the cusp and is your MC, but you do have Capricorn in your 10th house. Having that energy in there is only, it's a sign that's in there along with Sagittarius, which is going to be about freedom, doing what you want, what you love. So it wouldn't surprise me if you go off in entrepreneurial directions, which give you the freedom, which is also the destiny of the new world. It's going to be about entrepreneurships, having your own dreams, having your life happen. While they're trying to instill socialism and communism, God, is so fucking funny. The irony here is that we're all humanitarians. We're all going to live our dreams. We're all going to be happy, and there's nothing the darkness can do to change it, and it's heading 100 miles an hour in this direction. And the more the darkness tries to make it dark and make it their way, the more God or universe plays these games that are their games reflected to them in the energy. Meaning, how ironic that it would be that you would have Capricorn here in the 10th house and Sagittarius on your MC, which is all about freedom, and Capricorn's about entrepreneurship, and the new world is all about being an entrepreneur and living your dreams. That's a total opposite of socialism and communism. It's fucking great. Thank you, God. Right? So then everybody lives their dreams. The whole world changes if you so choose. And what happens is when everybody is in loads of abundance and happy, and this is what people miss, is that when they try to take from the rich and give to the poor and all this other garbage with all their bullshit about what they think should be, when if you let people live their dreams, the people who live their dreams lift up everybody else because they have so much that they give. And we teach and we work together from our hearts, and then there is no deficits for fucking anyone from love. That's what the fucking darkness misses, because it's all about control and super fucking dark or unwell. Okay, so Crystal, lots of great things coming up. New entrepreneur work. I feel like your soul's going to figure it out. You're looking for it. You're searching for it. Your healing of your heart will heal you and bring all these great things in for you. New relationships in all different avenues and in these houses as well. New career, or careers or expansion of the careers that you already do, right? And major transformation within your heart space and your soul, and healing in your subconscious energy. And really, this is a reading for all of us, just in different ways, truly. Okay, so thanks a lot. All right, here we go. All right, so those were the chart stuff from last week, right, that we need to finish up?
Yes.
All right, for the super moon. Capricorn is beast. All right. It is a beast. Right? All right. So, okay. So where are we going from here? Let me just see. Let me see what we got going on. I wrote some stuff. We talked a little bit about the health stuff. Let me see. Jennifer. Oh, I wanted to talk about one more thing. We haven't showcased a product yet, and in a few days. So I wanted to share with you guys and everybody out here in our audience Jennifer's cool ass astrology bags. Jennifer has basically her own company. It's Jennifer Ann Fiber Arts, and she makes these awesome, cool astrology bags. Pretty cool shit, handmade. She makes all kinds of beautiful, amazing hand-sewn things, totally created by her. She's a mad perfectionist, right? Yeah, she does great work, right? So this is her Scorpio handbag. It can be used for, let me see, your what do you call it, tarot decks, oracle cards. You can be used for your stones. This stuff fits right in there, which is really cool. All right, so this is one of her bags. It's the Scorpio one. Everybody see it out here? It's pretty cool. Jennifer makes incredible stuff. This is some of the stuff we have at our shopping center in case you guys are interested. And also here's another really super cool bag that Jennifer made. Again, this is another tarot bag, but you can use it for your stones, for your oils, any of your metaphysical stuff that you have. I'm going to try to open it and Just pull out. See, there's cards already in there. Flexibility is the card, right? Well, let's see what that reading is for right now. Gently flow through the turbulence. Life has the ability to shape you. Bend. Do not break. There you go. So it's about the ability to adapt in these times and not get the shit on and be flexible, right? That's Libra. That's Libra. Libra is about flexibility. Like what I have learned through a lot of my studies with all this is like one of the books that I read was the medical astrology book, and this one woman's story about being in the NICU and working with the children. And what she found is, and I think I might have told you guys this, is that the children who are in like the NICU or premature babies and people who come in, usually, especially the children in this particular case, if you look at their charts, and people as well, a Libra and having strong Libra placements or Venus placements, right, gives you the ability to adapt, to balance, right, with your health and everything in your life. So when babies come in and they're at a deficit in their astrology of the Libra power placements, there is a propensity for them to not make it in this reality and cross over. Interesting stuff, because their souls and in all that they are don't have the ability to adapt and change and bend to stay in this reality. Amazing stuff, right? And just fascinating. The answers are always in astrology. There's so much cool new information all the time to learn, right? So when people, you know, as soon as people have a baby and they're in the NICU unit, I'm like ripping apart their chart, because I'm like, oh my God, we gotta save the baby. I'm like, shit. That's how, I mean, people love babies. We all love babies. We all want good things, really, for people when we come from love or in our hearts, right? So I just wanted to share that with you, because the ability to bend, adapt, balance, that's what Libra is about. And if you don't have that with your health, the ability to change, right? If you can't change your beliefs, let's say for Nikki's friends, if they can't get out of earth world belief systems or move into different things and balance those energies out, it's going to be a lot harder for them, virtually impossible for them to have a baby, because they can't make the changes that they need to make it happen. Do you see? Yeah. Wild, incredible stuff. All right, that said, if you have any questions about this, you can PM us or ask us here, too. Okay. All right, that said, let me light some more sage here. And so we answered for tonight those questions. I wanted to share with you the cool bags that Jen did. She makes incredible stuff. All right, so we got a little bit of that. And what time is it, Rachel?
8:17.
All right, so 8:17. I want to get to tonight's questions, and then we'll probably have a couple little stories that we might want to share with you tonight about everything. So we'll see what happens and how much time we got. So, do we have questions for tonight?
We do.
All right, shoot. All right, thanks for questions, guys, and thanks for coming. Thanks for your donations. Thanks for hanging out with us and having a great time. I fucking love you guys. I love what we do. We're crazy good, and that's what the world needs. Crazy fucking good. Mm-hmm. All right, so go ahead, Ray. Let's have our questions.
We got Nikki first.
Nikki!
She said that her water heater decided to break this week, leak water everywhere, and destroy your floors. This is the third time in 3 years that it's happened. What's going on? Oh, no, I'm sorry. She said this is the third time in 3 years that her floors have been destroyed. What's going on with this? I'm so over it, and now I'm worried about mold. Help and thank you.
All right, God, what is the God's honest truth here for Nikki about the water heater and what's going on? All right. All right. Your water heater water is about your emotions, right? Your heater is about getting too hot, fire energy, anger, right? It's about being able to balance your emotions, having everything that you need, having warm water, right? Having your needs met. Your emotional, right? The water heater is the structure. So it's the house that structures your emotions, okay? So there's challenges in your emotional stuff. I do feel this is about transformation, because the water heater exploded, went all over the floor. So this is about really the changes in your emotional space of you, okay? And we're all going through intense changes. I also feel this is about physical body healing. You are on a new path now, just like we talked about your friends who want to have the babies, right, or have babies. You are on a new healing path as well, and this is why what happens is when we go through transformation in ourselves, both in earth world and metaphysically, these kinds of things will happen. Things will break, right? Yesterday, Rachel dropped a big, huge glass bowl, right? right, in one of our spaces, and it smashed all over the place. Anytime this kind of stuff happens, it's transformation. One time I put my cell phone on top of the car, rode away, and then rode over it. Okay? and I was pissed. I was like, really, God? Really? This transformation has to cost $700? I'm like, fuck. I'm like, really? But that's the kind of shit that happens, and also think about the objects that are transforming your communication. Like my phone would be communication, listening, thinking, as well as like what Rachel had. What's in Rachel's bowl? What was in Rachel's bowl of the old Rachel versus the new Rachel? What's in the stability or the structure of Nikki's emotional heater? What hots Nikki up? What heats Nikki up, right? And this has to do also with your endocrine system, your hormones, right? And healing all these things, because this is what we're working on healing when we're doing all this healing stuff, because we're working together, right? For, your best health, to get rid of these toxins, to change these things so you can have your best health, you can have, the dreams that you've asked God for your future. Can't happen without that. So these things are signs from the universe, right? Just like Jennifer broke a mug the other day, right? So, where is Jennifer's mug? Half empty, half full? What does the mug have to do with Jennifer? Where is her cup? Half full, half empty? Where does she lose the ability, like the handle broke off? Where does she lose the ability to handle it? Right? And as funny as we think that is, it's the truth. So these are the things we got to look at metaphysically and in Earth world that people don't even think twice about, right?
I'd be handling it because it was just a chip.
Oh, Jennifer says she's handled. Hear that? She just got like
That's
majorly
funny.
butthurt. She's like, it wasn't the handle. I handled it. It was just a chip. Yeah. See, this is the crazy, right? Crazy the work we do, right? Okay, so back to the water heater. It's your stability. All right. So let me just see here. So this is about restructuring your emotional space, as well as when you overheat your thyroid, your endocrine system, right? Your thyroid, your pituitary, your thymus, all right? All these things have to do. People don't realize when we get sick, but some of the biggest spaces that get hit right away, hardcore too, are your adrenals, right? And then your spleen, right? Your thyroid, all these things, like there's certain things that naturally get hit, your pituitary, and it gets worse and worse as it goes down the line, and then the more symptoms happen, right? But as a natural, more often than not, in Earth world, like with these sicknesses and tick-related things, it is your adrenals and your spleen and your liver, okay, and your gallbladder that get hit, all right? And this is your thyroid, okay, as well, and your thymus. And that's what's happening with the inoculations and tick-borne related diseases or any kind of bacterial infections like malaria, okay? So this is all related to all this, and you're in your physical earth world healing, getting rid of the toxins. I do feel that this also happened to show you, to tell you, about mold in your house, that mold is part of the problem, the water getting all over the floor, right? So you're going to have to do like a mold restoration of some kind to make sure that you keep on it. But there's also air filters. There's also charcoal airbags that we've had on our show in the past, that we have at our shop, that we use as well. Air purifiers. Doesn't mean you have to spend $1 billion. Ask God, ask love for everything you need. You may find it secondhand on Amazon, or secondhand on what do you call that that Jennifer goes to? Marketplace, Amazon Marketplace, or you know what I mean? Ask universe, ask love to guide you to these places to help you with the best cleanup, the best restoration, because we're probably going to be looking for this kind of shit for our house into the future as well. And ask universe, ask God, ask love for everything that you need, and it will be so. It will happen. All right, but trust that. Don't get in the space of you're trying to figure out how it's going to happen because you don't have any money or something crazy like that. Woof. Clear that out. Ask love that you do have it and let it go, and focus on the things that you can do now, and ask God to do so, and ask love for what you want, what you need, and make it happen. So this is why I feel this is happening. look into the quality of these products. I would look into the warranty. I would look into see if these people cannot be responsible for the water heater cooler, because this doesn't feel right to me. It feels like a manufacturer defect. It feels like you may have some ground to stand on in terms of getting them to pay for the maintenance and do all the maintenance here and replace the whole damn unit. But I would do my research. I would ask God that if this is so and this is what's best, that this happens so that you don't end up footing the bill. But I do feel like your house insurance should pay for this. However, I feel like this is part of the problem. People don't make products like they used to. But I also feel like there's a defect or something, and that they should be responsible for this. So this is coming in for a reason. So definitely look into these avenues. Whether you choose to go down this path is up to you. Ask love, ask God what is best, and that it is so from love. And thank you, God, for that for us. If you don't want to, are worried about making the wrong choice or a bad choice or what you are going to manifest here, you want to do what's best for love from you. But clearly, if they're not making a product, they're charging you all this money for it, they're not doing the right thing, you want to just look into it. But make sure you have your eggs in the basket, follow what universe says, or guides you to go to in your heart. Ask love for the God's honest truth. Ask love for the God's honest truth of all the answers here, the systems, the solutions, the way to do everything. And it will be so. And if this is what's best, God, thank you, God, for that for us, that they do replace it. But I do feel there are at least two avenues here for you to have all this replaced and fixed and healed and changed. And this is just all part of universe showing you the truth that's going on, which again validates co-infection. Having the deer in your yard kicking your cat tells me tick-borne illnesses related, or bacterial infections related to this, right? And that just happened like within the last 2 months. And then this with the mold. So you have this, I cannot say you literally have these things, but this is what universe is showing you in the reality of what is happening. Do you see? Yeah. So getting kicked in the face by a deer, which we know what happened with your cat, right? and we're sorry that happened, but also universe shows us what's truly going on in our worlds through what happens. You got basically kicked in the face by a deer too, reinfected by a tick-related disease, okay? So, in terms of me saying and diagnosing you, this is not what I'm doing here, so you guys know I'm telling you the truth of what universe or God says. These are the avenues that you should look into. I know we're working together, and you know what the truth is when I say these things, okay? You ask God, you ask love, because technically I'm not a medical doctor here in Earth World, all right? Nor do I claim that I am. I'm a medical intuitive who works with God or love, and this is how I get all of my answers, by working with that energy, right? And this is what they are guiding me to share with you to look into, but also to teach everybody here, as well as you, Nikki, that the things that happen in our reality show us the truth of everything that is going on with us, right? Everything. Just like the sicknesses in me. Everything. From what happens to me at the doctor's office where I don't get the care that I need, to all the placements in my astrology that say that I'm going to be poisoned, that I have a propensity to be poisoned with like every fucking star in my chart, right? What are the odds of that? Right? And then the mold, and then having dogs, and then having foxes, and having rats, and having bats all in my yard that all carry multiple different fleas, diseases, sicknesses, right? My dog licks shit outside, licks me, and then having open skin, right? Any kind of open skin. My dog licks my skin, is super contagious. Now I got this infection, then I get this infection, right? And then your body can only fend off so much. So these are things to look at and be aware of in our reality about what is really going on. And then you go to the doctor and they say, well, sorry that you're sick, you have rheumatoid arthritis, and that's just the way it is, or you have connective tissue disorder, and we can't heal that. When really secretly underlying, all you guys should look into multiple co-infections and what to do about them. Because we just gave you all the answers of the things to explore right here on the show, so that you can help you get to the God's honest truth of the answer, including the shot inoculation shit, because they mirror each other. It's stealth pathogens, right? Things, creatures, energies, right? God finds a way. Energies that gets in us, that finds a way to keep coming back, keep hitting you, right? Because they sleep in there, they hide in there somewhere in your body, and then you reawaken them, and if you don't get them out of your system and you don't kill them, they come back, and they can come back by being reinfected, reinoculated, whatever it is. So you got to beef up on your health and take care of you. But all these messages out here right here from universe. If you have a dog, what kind of infection do they have that you don't know about that is causing things like cystic fibrosis or rheumatoid arthritis, right? Or blood disorders, right? Or even diabetes, right? Meanwhile, right, here in Earth world, they're fucking telling you that you have autoimmune and your family line sucks and too bad for you. And here's some medicine that we hope can help you in the meantime to make you have some form of conducive good life. You know? Wow. Crazy shit. Crazy. All right, so this is why I'm telling you all these things so you all can take a look at these things for you. Because even if you don't believe that you have this or it doesn't come up on your blood test, when you start doing this, you may have some reactions to it if you start doing any of this stuff or researching it and literally getting on a program, right? Because there's an effect called a Herkimer effect. I think it's Herkimer or I think it's named after the gentleman who basically noted and recognized it, like in science and history, right? I think it's Herkimer or something like that. I always say Herkimer because I think of Herkimer diamonds, you know, the stones. But I'm sure that's not the exact pronunciation. But what it is basically it's a die-off effect. If you start to go on a detox where you put stuff together and you start to have a die-off effect, right, where you start to feel really sick or your symptoms come back and you didn't have them, right? Just like with my daughter Sophia, she was doing really great with her seizures, and we had her on vitamins and minerals and herbs, and we were detoxing her, and then we banged it up, right? And we started attacking the biofilms and used different things and even more things on top of it with binders and biofilms and enzymes and antimicrobials in different ways, right? We started beefing it up, and then all of a sudden she started to have mad seizures again. I'm like, fuck. So it is a challenge and it is a balance, right? But these are things that you got to be aware of, and so you work with love, or you work with a holistic healer or doctor that you know is the right one for you by what? Asking love for the best doctor, asking love for the best guide, asking God for the best people to work with from love. You can work with me, that's fine. You can work with anybody that you feel is the best person for you. And it does. And if you want to do it in Earth World till you realize that it doesn't work for you, however it works for you is fine, as long as you follow your heart, and that's the space of God that you're happy in. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm guiding you to the best wisdom from love so that you can truly be well if you choose, but you choose what you want to do. Right? I can tell you this, I don't want to be no sick no more. But you will know if what I say works, and if you start doing these things, researching it, getting on a program with a doctor and stuff, you'll know by how you feel if it's really working. Yeah, because you will see differences in your health, and you'll be like, holy shit. Not only that, you'll also notice these die-off effects if you have any as well. Incredible stuff. The things that they refuse to recognize in the medical field, because just like the government, just like the world government, just like the banking system, everything's falling apart. Transformation. And all I did was ask God for the God's honest truth of what the fuck was making me sick all my life. What the fuck is making me sick? Right? What the fuck? Right? God, you know, I'm like, what the hell? The God's honest truth. I want to understand it. I want to know it. Boom, 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 boom. Here we are now, 3 years later, right? And years later from the time that I asked, right? And asked God to be a master healer. Here's all the rest of everything that I need. And we're going to keep on learning and keep on going and keep on working with God as I get better and better and better and better. And where your heart leads you to with God, you make your choices. And you too will be in these spaces of getting better and better and better. It can't not happen. Truly. And you will see by the evidence in Earth World. So, Nikki, that's why this happened. I do feel not to stress. Clear it all out. Ask universe for what you want. The best outcome with all of this. From love. I do feel one of these solutions will happen. And there's even a third. Your mom is very blessed with, lots of abundance. Oh, my runny nose. Herkimer, runny nose. All right. So, your mom feels like to me that she also could fit the bill. But I hate to see her use her hard-earned money and her blessings on this. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you can do the other avenues, the first one I would look into is the warranty and what it covers, as well as everything else that goes with that, because that's not cool in terms of the repairs that have to happen with this. And so I look into that first, then I look into the insurance, and then, I'm sure your mom, since, your mom is all involved in this, will have her own say, too, with what she wants to do. But, of course, that would be an option, too. She could pay for it outright herself. So I don't feel this is anything to really stress about. It's always a blessing, even when we don't understand it. And there's all the wisdom for you guys with all this. Really incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Okay, so who's next? More questions?
Yeah, Nicholas. He was asking for a dream reading. I was in France with Nikki and Evelyn. Both of our parents were there. While I knew they were our parents, they did not look like them in this life. We were in a cafe getting lunch. Nikki was outside with her parents fixing their engine. I was inside with my parents, and Evelyn was at the counter talking to someone. She was older, late teens, early 20s. Nikki's parents came back inside without Nikki, and I asked where she is. They had no idea who I was talking about, as if she never existed. I ran outside to find her, and she wasn't there. She just disappeared. Then I woke up.
All right. Do you have the whole printout here?
Yeah, here.
Yeah. Oh. All right. So I think you guys heard Nicholas had a dream, and I'm just going to read it and just really quick one more time. And what's the God's honest truth here? Nikki and Nicholas were in France in Nicholas's dream. Both their parents were out there. While they knew their parents were there, they did not look like them in this life. They were in a cafe getting lunch. They were, meaning Nikki and Nicholas. Nikki was outside with her parents fixing their engine. Okay, so I guess Evelyn and Nicholas were inside. I was inside with my parents and Evelyn. Okay, here it is. At the counter talking to someone. All right. She was older, late teens, early 20s. So it's a little confusing about who was older. Is it Evelyn who's older? Late teens, early 20s?
That's how I interpret it.
Okay, because that's what I'm feeling like you're trying to say. I just want to make sure in the communication. Nikki's parents came back inside without Nikki, and I asked where she is. They had no idea who I was talking about, as if she never existed. I ran outside to find her, and she wasn't there. She just disappeared. Then I woke up. Okay. All right. This dream, guys, is about all the disconnects, issues, experiences that you are having and living through right now. With the challenges of both of you being from different cultures, different countries, different relationships, different families, not knowing each other, being connected, but being super disconnected. Everything in this dream says 1 minute we're here, 1 minute she's not, 1 minute she's with me, next minute something else is happening, and this over here is happening. And then there's different time frames in between all this where, 1 minute she's Evelyn and she's in her late 20s, right? Let's see here. And then there's no idea what we're talking about. So this is really your souls, and it's like she never existed. So, and then she just disappeared, and then I woke up, right? So this is all about, I'm going to put this right here for a second. This is all about your souls working out everything that you're going through on a subconscious soul level. That's the amazing thing about dreams. There's multiple messages in them. So this is about disconnects from your family, understanding from yourselves, and with yourselves, as well as the parents being disconnected from you guys. Different culture connections, and your soul's trying to connect and work this out and understand it. You may have 2 or 3 more dreams that are similar or related to this, because your souls are working this stuff out. And this is your dream, Nicholas, so it is you in particular, your soul, that is working through this. But because you have a twin flame, Nikki's your twin flame soulmate comes in. So this is going to be intertwined in both of your psyches. So both of you will experience something similar to this at different times in different ways. However, so just so you know that with the energy and also with what you're going through. So there is a connection for this for both of you. And it's interesting because if you look at, all those, so you can see all these deficits, we're doing this and then this happens and then we're somewhere else and then that happens, and there's disconnects, misunderstandings, not understanding each other, which is a lot of what you're doing in Earthworld with your parents, okay, not understanding you guys and the relationship and why you left from France to go to America to live your dreams, you know what I mean? And the parents don't understand this, so your soul is trying to wrap this around, and are you going to lose them, and is there a disconnect, and can that change, and will it happen now, and or when Evelyn's grown up in her 20s, so your soul is working out a whole bunch of shit here, right? And then Nikki was outside with her parents fixing their engine, okay? So, this is like your engine is what makes things run, what pulls everything together so it flows, okay? So Nikki, being a mother type energy, a power energy, right? A lover by nature, she's trying to fix the parents' engine, so she's trying to fix this relationship so that everything works together copacetically or harmoniously, right? The engine of the whole family dynamics, the engine of being in different countries with different people in our families and trying to make these things meet. And it's neat because it's like being in a cafe and getting lunch, right? In the dream, you're trying to have fun. You're trying to enjoy your life. You're trying to make the time for each other. You're talking to other people and you're with your parents. So you're trying to live, but yet at the same time, there's all these challenges within this. And then again, I knew they were our parents, but they did not look like them in this life, okay? That's like a disconnect. Lifetimes of this energy disconnecting, all right? And healing for this comes in with this. And same thing, again, and no idea what I was talking about, and she never existed. It was like the parents came back inside without Nikki, and I asked where she is, and they didn't know where she was. So, and this is also about fears, your soul working this out, releasing fears. What if that my parents don't acknowledge her? What if they don't want to accept her? What if they don't want to accept my new family? What if they don't want to accept my new daughter? Do you see what I'm saying? So this is big stuff, but your soul has got this. So it's working all this stuff out. And let's see. Yeah. Anything else? Yep. So metaphysically, our souls will do stuff like that all the time. Always processing, working out, going into different dimensions within our portals. So that is us, that is our God connection. All right. And we pull stuff out and we work stuff out and we get, information coming in. We get premonitions, healing energy. We go to different dimensions. We travel. We're so magical. And most people in Earth world don't even have a clue. Right. So that's what's going on, and it's fine, and everything's going to be fine. And your soul, I feel like you're going to have like 2 to 3 more dreams like this, possibly 4, because 4 is the number of completion. And it's funny because it right here in the corner, and there's a little, I think this is sent, has a number 4 like a like on it with a 4 that goes like this. A thumbs up like on Facebook, number 4. And 4 is the number of completion. So your soul is healing this, which is nice. Really nice stuff. Okay, there you go. Where are we on our time check?
8:42.
Oh, 8:42. So do we have questions for next week that we're going to do? Do we have any more questions for tonight?
We have more questions.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to do the rest of our questions next week for our live talk forum. It'll be next Wednesday, 7:15, God willing, through all the challenges we have with our journey onto getting well. And remember, those of you who have multiple co-infections and, chronic illnesses, what's going on didn't take 5 minutes, and it's going to take time to heal. It's about perseverance. It's about, America is the country that is all into, and medicine is all into the pill that makes us feel better. But that's not really how things work. Like, we use the cell salts a lot of times. You guys all know that, right? These are great tools for us to help us be well, right? But there's multiple other tools. This is like many times I'll use a cell salt like I did before to help me with my runny nose, the symptoms that I'm having, to relieve the symptoms. But that's not necessarily going to heal my whole entire nose. Now, you can get on these cell salts to help you heal things too if you know how to work with them homeopathically, right? And in different ways. But those are just some of the tools for you actually being well into the future. And so let me just get back to where we were going with this. We're like in the zone here. So it behooves all of us to look into. Is it raining out there? It sounded like it was mad pouring.
Like rain.
All right.
Windows down?
Huh?
Are your windows down?
I hope not, unless, thanks God for them not being down. They were worried about rain here. Sorry for the interruptions, all right? So, so in Earth World, they give us a pill that's like a Band-Aid, that they consider a Band-Aid. Well, this will fix it. And they don't really address all the symptoms or get down to the really big bottom of all that is going on to heal you or to help you be well, truly. And so, tools like this, I bought this up because the cell salts are amazing tools and gifts from through homeopathic medicine to help us be well, but they're not the end all end-all be-all. You have to have a whole program. And this is why a lot of people don't get better with homeopathics. They go to acupuncture once in a while, or they go to massage, or they go to chiropractic, right? But you need the whole formula to get your best well for you. Vitamins, minerals, herbs, and a specific program for what it is that you're going through, as well as a really bomb-ass detox program to get rid of the shit, or it's going to be that much harder for you to ever be well. Okay? So, but we're all running around in Earth world. That's the problem with this world. They put their hearts into this medicine, and there's a lot of good medicine in Western medicine. There absolutely is. But the truth of God or love isn't in that medicine. Right? There's a lot of truths within it that as time goes on will morph into, hopefully, right, with the grand plan of God, working with all that is God and love to make this Western medicine be its greatest medicine here in this space with everything that is God and love. And it's coming and it's happening, but it's a long time out there. And really, truth in medicine is always, and truth in everything is always with God or love in the purest form. So that's what I want to say tonight. So look into this stuff for all you guys. All you guys are suffering chronically, and they're telling you this, and they give you a pill, and they say, sorry, this is all you can do. Because that's what they told me. We're just going to give you steroids for the allergic reaction you have and the cytokine storm that's going on in you, and you know, and you go see a rheumatologist in like 6 to 8 months if you can get an appointment, and we'll write you a letter, you know, and you still can't even fucking get in. And then the rheumatologist is just going to give you variations of the same medicines to stop, you know, put a Band-Aid on it, really. So that's what we're going to say for tonight with everything that we want to share with you. There's lots more. We're going to answer the rest of your questions next week. Look into these things for you guys, for your best health. All right. You don't have to do anything. Follow your heart. I'm not telling you what to do in terms of medical advice. Follow your heart. I'm telling you what I get from love energy that is God. And then you work with that energy like we teach, and you make your best decisions for you as you are responsible for you. That's Saturn. You are the only person responsible for your health, your dreams, your happiness. And the more you work with God or love, the more you're going to get there. Quicker, easier, faster, and then and better than anything else that exists out here. Truth across the board. Always. Okay. All right. So, yes. Oh, and I have one more story before I go, which is really fucking funny. I have to tell you this. This is Rachel's story. This is really fucking funny. So, I'm sitting in our office today, and we've been having like this fucking problem with flies, right? All in our fucking office space. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? And I'm doing this work. There's all these flies, and they're flying all over. I swear to God, for the last week, and there's like 30 of them. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Well, flies represent what? Death, dying, and transformation. They're always around shit, right? And they're always around dead animals, right? You're like, oh, death, dying, transformation. Flies, they're insects, right? So somehow, we have a whole shit ton of them in the office. And Rachel goes, Lynn, she goes, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, what? You know, and she goes, well, you know how we have all these flies? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, I have something to share with you. And I'm like, uh-huh. And she goes, all these flies, did you notice how they hang out by the door? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I don't realize how these flies hang out by the door, right? This is my bud, Rachel, over here, right? She's like, yeah, they hang out by the door. She goes, do you know what I discovered? If I open up the door and I blow on them, they fly out the door. And then I realized that I was like being transported into like a fucking fairy dimension that is in Rachel's soul. And I'm like, what the fuck, Rachel? Right? This is totally a Rachel fairy thing, right? And I'm like, oh my God. And I realized that this is one of the things that fairies do. They work with the insects and the gardens and elemental worlds and flies. And I'm like, and here she is, like blowing the flies gently out the door. And I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, but this is again, universe showing us her elemental energy, her fairy energy, her princess queen energy, and her ability to have such a beautiful heart to save these fucking flies, right? Incredible stuff. But it was like this metaphysical, bizarre experience. And here it is, right here in our Earth world, and it's funny as shit. I laughed for 25 minutes nonstop. I almost peed myself. I was like, Rachel, I'm like, the flies hang out by the door, and you blew on them, and they flew out the door. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, what the fuck, right? Yep, this is fairyland. That's Rachel. That's why we love her, because she has these incredible, amazing stories and wonderful gifts that are super magic. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that with you tonight because it was so fucking funny, right? So if you see anybody who has these bizarre fairy gifts, or you're one of those people, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It was really cool, though, but I was like, whoa, I was like in a different dimension. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's crazy shit. So if you guys want to try those fairy tips and tools for your earth world reality, please do, okay? Don't pee yourself if they fly out the door and it works, though, okay? All right. So that said, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks again for coming, being on our show, being with us. I had a great time as always. Thanks for all your donations. If you can share our stuff everywhere, please do. Share what we do. We're all about New World and great things from love. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. You got it, Ray?